All right, so I am going to now do a problem where I write the equation of a line passing through a given point. My given point is going to be 4, -6. So it's going to pass through this given point P, and it is going to be perpendicular to a given line. And my given line is y equals -3. So let's think about what we're given here. We're given a line that's y equals -3. So if I were to graph that, where are the values of y where they are -3? And I know on the y-axis, -3 is this point. And I know if I go across in a horizontal direction, all these points have a y value of -3. So when I'm drawing my line, I know that this line here going through at y equals -3, this is the line that I'm given. And I'm drawing a line that's perpendicular to this. So let's think about what that means. If I have a horizontal line, perpendicular would be vertical. So ideally, I'm going to be coming up with a vertical line, and it needs to go through the point 4, -6. So let's look at what that looks like. So here's 4. Here's the point 4, -6. So it needs to go through this point P at 4, -6. Well, if we're sitting here thinking about this, then I could go ahead and sketch what I think this line is going to look like. It's a vertical line that goes through this point, right? So let's reason this out. I know that perpendicular lines have reciprocals. Their slopes are reciprocals of each other. They're opposite reciprocals of each other. So let's think about what is the slope for this line right here that was given. Because I know that the new equation has to be perpendicular to this equation. So the slope of this line, if I'm looking at y equals mx plus b, the slope-intercept form, I notice that I do not have an x term here. I just have a constant. So what I'm needing to see is that what I have is my b, my y-intercept. And indeed, if I look at y equals -3 right here, that is my y-intercept. I do not have a slope. Now, the slope of this line, what is it? It would be 0. Okay, if you're thinking about the analogy that I often use of a skier on a hill, when the skier is at the top of the hill, they're not going anywhere, right? That means their slope is 0. Okay, so this really could be written as 0 times x minus 3. That's what it was simplified from. So my slope was actually 0 right here. So what is the opposite reciprocal of 0? Well, any number can be put over 1. So if I do the reciprocal, I flip it. And then I make it the opposite, so it's negative. But what's wrong with this? Right here, what is wrong with this fraction? Can I ever divide by 0? No, it's undefined. Okay, and that makes sense because remember in my little sketch, originally, if we went down the hill and then we hit a cliff, what happened to the skier? He fell off the cliff. And he was undefined. And the cliff was represented by a vertical line, right? So a vertical line, the slope of a vertical line is undefined. So it follows that if I try to find a line that has the opposite reciprocal slope of this horizontal line, I'm indeed going to get a vertical line. So that's what I'm finding. So a vertical line that crosses at the point x equals 4, -6, what will the equation of this line be? That is my last question. We need an equation for this line. We know that x value is 4 here. we know that every point on this line has an x value of what? Of 4. So we're going to call this line x equals 4. And this is the equation of the line that is perpendicular to y equals negative 3 and goes through the point 4, negative 6. So x equals 4.